All right, here we go. Last video on this whole scenario of findings for today, the motive. Now, let's talk about the glove found by the restaurant worker. Quick. Glove found by restaurant worker should have said gone. Probably for some DNA. Here's why. Like I said, these groups, this ring in my last 4 videos, please listen to them to catch up. Sorry if it's a lot, but it's worth listening to. They target people that need money. So this is what Spirit said. There's this restaurant. It's hard to get into. It's always busy. It's really good food. It's really amazing. But it's like called El Chupa. It's just really upscale. Like, I don't know if it's a Mexican restaurant, but it's like the place to go, right? And I think you have to put your name on a reservation or whatever. But I feel like that glove belonged to somebody who worked there. But that's also where these elites go to, right? These people, all these company owners that I've now mentioned that are a part of this ring that is already in federal court and being investigated in the last 5 that I mentioned. Now, that being said, I feel like this is where they're all meeting. Okay? That restaurant. El Lupe or Lupa, Chupa, something. Linda kept mentioning a restaurant too like that. And that's the one I think she was trying to get at. That's the one that I'm vibing. When they found that glove, that was an instant restaurant I vibed. It was also, have you know, Annie and her mom and Savannah's, I think, favorite restaurant in Tucson. Also, that they always went to. So, now, let's get into the sheriff. Well, let's put it this way. This is for entertainment purposes only. This is only mine and Spirit's opinion. It's really not for entertainment, but I will just say it is in my opinion only. Because this is serious stuff. Now, let's talk about the ransoms. The sheriff's department, from my understanding, and I may have the number wrong, but it was a $5.62 million deficit of spent money they were overspending that they had, right? So, you're losing, policemen, and there's a lot of crime in Tucson. You need these guys, right? You can't give them raises. But now, where was that money going? Okay. Now, it's been said that Sheriff Nanos has other property. Heard this today. It is right over by the area in my first location video about Sabino Canyon or whatever, Bear Canyon area that I ever posted, right? It mimics the picture. There's also a hidden dam over there, by the way. And, yeah, I think there's like a dam and another area over there that you really wouldn't know about. You go off the beaten path. Anyways, I'm trying not to ramble because this was a lot for today. And I'm sure all you guys are like, oh my God, really, Mandy? So, Sheriff Nanos. So they're negative, what, 5.62 million or something? So let's just look at this. The ransoms for 6 million. The more heat the public kept bringing down on Nanos, guess what happened? Well, they didn't get another ransom. Or we didn't hear about it. But I'm taking it they didn't, right? Why was it going to TMZ? I mean, aren't Sheriff Nanos and Harvey buddies? That's just my opinion. But aren't they buddies? I don't know, maybe, Google that. Yeah, because I've done a lot of Googling and researching, and I had a couple people really helping with this, and one person in specific really, really helped with this, but I can't say her name. She doesn't want to mention. But she's amazing at what she helped with. So that's why all this is getting reported today, My intuition, and talking to Nancy and as a medium and her research skills. So, Sheriff Nanos. I don't mean to say that so loud. I do feel he's resigning soon. I think there's too much heat coming down. I think every one of his properties needs to be searched. Vehicles. I just think it's important to do, right? I don't know. Just my opinion. So 5.62. Let's put it this way. Ransom. 6 million. Makes sense, right? Got to put the money back. and you need a little extra to run on, right? Because you're already in a deficit from last year. That was the deficit last year. God only knows how much the deficit is now, but they get a certain amount of money, allotted money. They have to write grants for money. So last year's deficit, they overspent 5.62, I think it was. They needed $6 million because, I mean, I'm just curious. I mean, how do you buy all that property that he owns? It's just my opinion. I'm just interested in properties. I actually own properties, so just selling some right now. So I understand equity. I understand everything I just reported on, right? Anyways, I'm going to just make this really quick, but I feel like the family was majorly targeted in this. Oh, that's what I forgot to mention. Another thing. So I was just doing some research, and there's this place called Sovereign Electric, but like there's this guy named Christopher Bloom that owns it, I guess, But maybe in the search attempts, we could look into the properties, that are rented. So what properties were rented by Psalm 112 LLC, now doing business as Tucson Solar? What locations are rented or owned by Sovereign? They like their rent usually, that way they can bail quick, So what was rented by Reddington's operation, who's in jail right now, and what was rented by Urias Custom? Maybe a good thing to look at. I do have another thing. Back a couple weeks ago, somebody went into that Maggie Street and that Thorn whatever wash, and I still have these pictures. It looks like an elderly woman, she's definitely not, she's unalive, and there's some other stuff there too, and no one's really found that area or really searched in that area that I saw, but there's a couple people that have been trying, and interesting today, like none of the security would let them in. Like, when is there security running around in the washes going, you can't come in and take your dog for a walk? Nah, it's not private property, it's public. But anyways, yeah, that's all I got for today. I am worn out. If you really listen to the 1, 2, 3, 4, and now 5, whew, I was going to go live tonight. I'm still thinking about it, but oh my gosh, just a lot of information, you guys. A lot of information. I hope it all comes out. I really do. Because, if they can just arrest all these business rings, do you know how much safer everybody's going to be? You know how much chaos is going to end? The world's been so weird. Well, it's a part of it. Another thing that I do want to point out, my opinion only. Don't you guys think it's just a little weird that We the Resistance and No Kings hasn't been doing protests and everything they're doing during the Nancy Guthrie case? It's a little weird, I'm just pointing out that it's been, that's been interesting, right? So, I mean, for being such advocates for this, why weren't they protesting on Nancy's case, on the searching? A part of? Who knows? Just my opinion, again. But, anyways, don't jump down my throat for this. I'm just a little speck in all of this. I'm just like you guys, trying to figure it out. I don't think it matters whether you got a theory or you're a psychic or a medium. We're all human. So quit hurting psychic mediums' feelings. Seriously. Everything I do in life isn't based off psychic mediumship. Everything I just gave you, part of it is, but part of it's research, fact, and having really good people that know what they're doing and sending me stuff and saying, let's put our heads together. It's called unity. You know what's going to solve this case? Unity and community. Okay. You guys have a great night. My ADHD is acting up now. Okay.